So hello everyone and welcome back. This is an example of something I wanted you all to see, and the headline kind of speaks for itself. So in 2017, Portland, Oregon voted in a huge levy to help support some additional funding for Portland Metro schools. Well, the bond already faces almost $100 million in shortfalls. That's right. Not only did they need more money than they thought, they needed significantly more money than they thought. And this is kind of an example of the progressive stack here in a one-party state that is primarily Democrat, and why we need to stop this insanity. So, you can see here, figures from district staff show that $79 million bond promised, much cheaper projects than internal cost estimates suggested were possible. The schools promised to combine $60 million less than the cheapest estimate. See, this is part of the problem. This is what they do. They manipulate the numbers, and then when they shortfall, they're like, oh, well, we need more money. We couldn't do it because we didn't have enough money. Well, they didn't have enough money because their estimates were way off, because they were trying to hide what it was actually going to cost so that they could get you to agree to it. And by the time you've agreed to it, you're neck deep in it. It's a common tactic used by the left, especially in dark blue states like Oregon, Washington, and California. It's one that they use to convince independents and conservatives when they are presenting something in a light that's a bit shady. They'll manipulate the numbers to make it look like it's going to cost less than it really will, to get you to agree to it. Because they know if they tell you exactly how much it's really going to cost, even their own supporters will reject it, trying to find a cheaper, simpler solution. And so, when you've got this kind of behavior, the only thing you can do is nip it in the bud from the beginning and stop it before it becomes functional, which is why I'm pushing to help try to get some balance brought back into the state, because this one-party rule type system is bad for everybody. Now, you can see here, approved a bond costing $75 million instead of one worth $850 million. Now, $850 million in a school bond is far more than any other bond in the state. Okay? Now, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about when I say a bond, Oregon funds its schools primarily from property taxes. It used to be from logging on public lands, but since we've shut down all the logging, even renewable logging, we have to instead fund it through property taxes. And so they create a bond to levy money through the property taxes when they need to do specific things, and then the general property tax goes to cover schools. So this isn't total funding for the schools. This is additional funding beyond their operating funding. Okay? And they wanted they need $100 million more just in the first year. Almost. It is insane. Just how much this is an issue. Now, one of the things that they're blaming on this are soft costs, such as permits and architects, and things of that nature. Well, you know who controls the permitting process are the Democrats and the bureaucrats that the Democrats have appointed. And Portland continues to increase its permit costs and its building costs to try to stop growth. Now, Madison High School has an aggressive and a conservative range that goes from $170 million to $199 million. But the amount that Madison gave for the bond was $146 million. See, this right here shows you that they specifically are lying to their public so that they can try to force you into making a decision that's bad. And then once you're in the decision, they demand more. Now, I'm going to leave a link to the Oregon Public Broadcasting website so that you can look at this in detail. But this is the kind of stuff that they get you in. This is how they get you. And Beaverton has a bond coming up that pretty much is a zombie bond. It is a bond that has been voted on again and again and again and again. And all it's being used for is to pay teachers. Instead of redesigning the budget so that they can afford these teachers, they just keep renewing the bond. And they seem to think that people will fall for it because it's for the children. It's time we said enough and started holding these administrators accountable for their spending. Well, thank you all again for joining me. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, or thumbs up and subscribe on BitChute. Don't forget to check out my other social media site down below, including my new way to contribute to this channel, which is coffee. You can get me a coffee at Coffee, and I'll get the money. It's an easy way to contribute without having to subscribe monthly. And as always, have yourself a beautiful day.